Well, we were hoping for a close game, a nail biter, heart rate pumping. We were expecting and hoping for all that. But South Africa said, no, thank you, not today. They were very clinical. They've won by 57 runs and they would have liked to finish things off earlier. But Navneet Dhaliwal got 64 of 49 and he took the game to the last over. Canada got 156 for 8 in their 20 overs and South Africa won by 57. We're back at Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami Kher. I've got the Marathi Manuses in the house, if that's a word. Manus. Ek Manus, don Manus.
Salil.
Rohan, Gavaskar and Ajinkya Rahane. Canada, of course, managed to reach the 20th over. They lost a lot of early wickets in the power play. They lost 4 wickets, Ajinkya. So, they'll go back. Obviously, every team wants to win, but they managed to get to that 156.
I think they'll be really happy with this performance. 156, from their point of view, it's really good. They bowled really well. We thought South Africans were 20-30 short when they were batting, but I thought Canada team will be happy. But they showed the character, the intent also. They lost 4 wickets. When you lose 4 wickets in the power play, it's never easy to chase down that target. But I thought they batted really well in that middle phase. You see that 11-15 scoring 9 runs per over. That was something really good from them. Yes, it's difficult. Again, coming from Canada, and then it was expected that South Africa is going to win the game, but Canada showed that character and intent to fight out.
Well, Rohan, good to see Navneet Dhaliwal get those runs, 64 runs. He has the experience under his belt because he's also captained Canada earlier. So we know that he's got all that experience under his belt and he took it to the last over.
And the way he batted in 60, in 49 deliveries, so it was, in pretty decent, with a pretty decent striker, 130, 7 fours, 1-6. So he'll take a lot of confidence going into the next game. I think this, in a sense, for both teams, this game was exactly how they would have wanted. Maybe Canada would have wanted to get 20-30 runs. Obviously the victory, as Ajinkya said, if not victory, was the next best thing to try and get as close to a target as possible. Now, from Canada's point of view, the fact that they lost 4 wickets in the power play and then got to 160 should give them a lot of sort of belief and confidence. If they hadn't lost 4 wickets in the power play, we think they would have probably got about 180, 190, which again is it's a really good achievement. From South Africa's point of view, they got a good batting performance since. They lost 2 wickets and then they did well to get to 213. As far as the bowling is concerned, they did really well in the power play, got 4 wickets. Then they were tested for the 20 overs because there was a partnership. Dhaliwal batted really well. They didn't pick up wickets in the power play, but so they had a good workout of 20 overs in the middle. So I think it's a game which at the end of this game, both teams will be sitting in the dressing room and thinking, okay, South Africa obviously more elated because they've got the victory under the belt and a convincing one. They were never in any trouble or any doubt as to they'd end up winning. And Canada will be thinking, sitting, okay, guys, we didn't stretch them as much as we would have liked, but we still put in a decent performance.
I think games like this, I feel, the bigger teams like South Africa today generally expect they'll actually get Canada team all out, within 12-13 overs. But I thought it was a great practice for the South African bowlers, especially Lungi. Ngidi bowled really well, hitting those lengths, mixing his pace up, slower balls, bumpers. Kagiso Rabada, we saw bowling a couple of bouncers as well. So I thought it was a great practice for South African bowlers getting used to the pitches. I mean, they know the conditions, but having that game time, just playing before big teams, it's really required.
See, look, we've seen a couple of the earlier games against the associate member countries and they've become a lot closer.
Yes.
There was a time, even in India's game, we felt, it's close, what's happening here? In the England-Nepal game, you're like, wow, it's gone down to the last over, anything can happen. Pakistan also had a little bit of a hiccup in the sense that it got a lot closer than they would have wanted. This game wasn't like that. So from South Africa's point of view, but while they got in, 20 overs of batting, 20 overs of fielding, there was no tension. It's one of those games where you okay, listen, you want to make a few changes. As a captain, you think, okay, listen, let me try plan X or plan Y. You can do that. You have the luxury of doing that simply because you're not under any pressure. So you don't have to, in a sense, be thinking, okay, what am I going to do here now? Right, I want to give Ajinkya a bowl right now. Let me give Ajinkya a bowl. I want to give Rohan a bowl. Let me give Rohan a bowl. You can try what you want because you're under no pressure. So from South Africa's point of view, this could have been a banana skin, but it wasn't. So well done to South Africa.
And Rohan, that's something that we spoke about in the com box as well. Ajinkya, they used 5 bowlers and all of them completed their 4 overs. So it was almost like, everyone getting in their 4 overs in, getting in that match practice, because Jansen at the com box was 2 overs for 21. So he was on the more expensive side, but he managed to find that economy of a 7.5, which is very good to end with. So everyone getting in that 4 over.
Yeah, I feel it's important to identify your top 5 bowlers. No, games like this, you end up giving 1 or 2 overs to your part-timers. But I feel giving them those 4 overs of quota is really important, because in the coming games, the top teams, you are actually going to require your top 5 bowlers who are going to do well for you. So I think it's a great thing. Games like this, I always feel that following your basics as a bowling unit, sticking to your strengths, but also at the same time trying few new things. Wide yorkers, whatever your strengths are, but trying your new things out, it's really important.
I just going on what he's saying. So a lot of teams would actually prefer to play a game against the associate member country
earlier on.
No, later.
Oh.
Because if you've got the wins under the belt, then you can do all of this. You can try what you want. You can maybe give your main bowlers a bit of a rest in a long competition and say, okay, listen, we're going to try someone else. If it's your first game, you've got to play your best team because you want the points on board.
It's also a nice warm-up into the big game.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, there are 2 ways of looking at it. I would think that, okay, if you want to give someone a rest, then this is the ideal game that you probably rest someone out. So you want it later on, once you've got your victories against the other teams and you've qualified for the next round, you give your players a rest. And in the first game, you can't do that.
Of course.
So, I mean, in a sense, but you're right, the other way of looking at
what
it.
is high, big pressure game when you're first coming into a new country and you don't...
So, I mean, that, like I said, the other way of looking at it is maybe if some of your main players get like a big 100 or, 4-wicket haul, like Ngidi got 3 wickets, then that sets their confidence up nicely for the rest of the tournament.
When you spoke about Ngidi, he got those 4 wickets, but he's also had a very good IPL. He's done very well when he came to India. Clearly likes bowling in these conditions, and it's incredible to say likes bowling in these conditions, because we know that the tracks can be very flat.
Yeah, I mean, in India, we all know the wickets are really good. I think he's improved his bowling, wide ball bowling especially. His pace has gone down, but I feel the consistency, area which he bowls, is really good. He likes to bowl that hard length, test match line and lengths, which I feel is pretty much hard to hit. Even in T20s, we saw Josh Hazelwood bowling those lengths. Probably Bhuvnesh Kumar sometimes bowling those lengths. Pat Cummins as well. But I feel those lengths are the difficult lengths to hit.
Has he also developed a new slower ball in the IPL? Because that we were not used to seeing so much. So has he developed in the IPL?
I think he has developed a slower ball. Also, what I notice, his arm speed changes drastically. So I think that variation is really difficult for a batsman to pick up. So when you bowl 130, 135 and then suddenly you bowl that 124, 122 delivery, that's really tough to hit.
There's always question on his fitness, because there used to be lots of injuries that used to come. But clearly the opportunities he's got, he's making the most of it, and he's clearly working on his fitness as well.
Look, I think when you've had a injury setback, it makes you realize how important it is to look after your body, and how important it is sometimes, as a team, and Ajinkya will be able to tell you, shed light on this a lot better, how you protect certain bowlers, certain players, thinking, okay, listen, you're slightly injury prone. You'll play a few games. You won't play a few games. We'll give you enough rest. We've seen that with Jasprit Bumrah with the national side in India. There are certain test matches he might play, certain test matches he might not play, certain white ball cricket you might rest him for, and you might say, okay, listen, you play these games, and that's how you've got to go about it. And I think it's pretty much the same with Ngidi, because he is a special talent, a special bowler. It's unfortunate that because of injuries, we haven't really seen a prolonged spell of the best of him. But hopefully from South Africa's point of view, that those injury worries are a thing of the past, and we'll see the best of him in the future.
I feel, from fast bowler's point of view, it's really challenging. When you go through an injury, coming back after an injury, it's really challenging, and that's a really tough job for a fast bowler. South African cricket, in that way, I feel, they looked after their players really well. The open communication between the administration and the players has been amazing. That's what I heard. No, if player tells I need a break, no, they've been really open. They said, okay, no, probably you are our main guy. You actually need a break. So I think having that conversation and having that freedom from the administration
And just the confidence
helps a lot.
from the administration.
Absolutely, yes.
Is it different with the Indian setup in terms of?
It's not. Right now, I mean, obviously the players like Bumrah or someone else wants to take a break. It's really required. You know, they understand who's actually really good, and you need to protect a player. So Indian cricket that way has been doing really great, especially looking after fast bowlers. Batsmen, they can carry on and playing for a long time, but fast bowlers, you actually need to look after them.
Rohan, you know, today South Africa went ahead with just that one bowler. Maharaj didn't pick up a wicket today. Do you think the pitches in India, this is going to be the way forward? Because Sri Lanka, clearly the ball is turning much more than India.
I think in India, what we've seen where T20 cricket is concerned with the IPL, we generally prepare excellent batting pitches. And I think in a T20 game, while sometimes you might get a 120, 140 T20 game, which is really absorbing because it goes down to the wire. And, you know, it's one of those really close encounters. We love it. We love it. But from the public's point of view, a lot of the public would also want to see the sixes and fours. They've come to see big hits. And a lot of the rules are so much in favor of the batters that the bowlers really have, you know,
that's why the 120 games make it so much exciting.
Make it so much more exciting. But we've also, like I said, because we play so much T20 cricket, we know how to prepare good batting pitches. Outfields are quick. So we will see a lot of high-scoring games in India. So you're right. This might be just the way forward as to what to expect in the T20 matches in India.
You know, Ajinkya, you said that Canada should be satisfied with the way they've reached 156. For South Africa, if you were in the South Africa camp, you've got a win under your belt. But when you're playing a team like Canada, would you in the team say, okay, let's enjoy this win and now, you know, look at what's happening next? Or would you just say, be a little more critical and say that we should have gotten maybe 15 runs more and we should have kind of wrapped up Canada a little earlier? Is that the talk that will happen in the South African team?
South Africa probably think about their batting. No, they'll think about they have a 15-20 run shot. I don't think they'll think too much about their bowling. But you know, going forward, they would like to get more runs, considering the batting lineup they have. Fast bowlers, the good teams, they always enjoy playing against good fast bowlers. And Indian wickets are really good to play against fast bowlers. We'll hardly see a turn, no spin on Indian tracks. Sri Lanka, yes, we'll probably see a turn. But I think from their bowling point of view, they'll have to do slightly better. I feel the variation wise, because all their fast bowlers, they have pace. They hit the same length, back of length, which I feel in Indian conditions are very easy ball to hit. So I think from batting point of view, just 15-20 run shot, as I said, but bowling wise, they were really okay.
Well, Rohan, we'll have a look at the points table, very early days, but we have to have a look at that points table because Group D is quite a packed group when it comes. There's South Africa, there's New Zealand, UAE and Afghanistan. So we know that there will be close matches towards the end. So that net run rate column is something, Ajinkya, you were talking about as well. They're in a plus 2.8, which is always good to be in that kind of a higher net run rate. So that will be on their mind as well.
Oh, absolutely. And again, I'm going to bring the IPL into discussion here. How often have we spoken about net run rate from the very first game in the IPL? Sitting here, saying, like, listen, if there's an opportunity in the first game, you've got to try and take that opportunity to better the net run rate. And I think all teams now have realized that in a lot of these tournaments where you have to qualify for the next round, net run rate will come into play at some point or the other. So that eye is never towards the end of the league phase. It's always the eye on the net run rate right from the beginning. So they'll be happy with, you know, going into +2. That's pretty healthy. But like you said, still early days. Still got to get those wins under your belt and then let the net run rate do the talking if it needs to.
All right, I have been told that there is a very high possibility, the news coming in, that India and Pakistan will be playing that game on the 15th as scheduled, is the news that's coming in. I'm not sure on the confirmation yet, but as per reports, we have been told that the game should happen as per schedule. What are your comments on this?
I think it should happen, and that's what I said. I mean, it was anyway going to happen. This was just Pakistan. I felt they were playing. They wanted something, as Rohan said, it was always about the revenue for them. See, India-Pakistan, it's a very big game. Even the Pakistan team, it's not that great, what we used to see in the past. But again, that rivalry is always there. All the fans, the broadcasters, everyone wants to see that match. The fans want to know, Pakistani fans wants to see them winning. Indian fans wants to know Indian team winning the game. So I think that rivalry is going to be there. So I'm not surprised they have backed out on their decision. And I mean, as of now, that's what we
the
heard.
reports. We're not
The reports,
sure.
but yeah.
Rohan, are you surprised? Were you expecting this?
No, I think I think a lot of us were expecting that this match would take place. Is, as Ajinkya said, it's a big game. It's traditionally, it has always been the rivalry. It's a big game. I for once, we saw those demands of bilateral series. Yes, the government and BCCI have taken a decision not to play bilateral, but there's a record in that India-Pakistan head-to-head, which is slightly close. It's because we've played Pakistan when they were better than us. We played bilaterals and they used to beat us. If in the last 8-10 years we had played bilaterals with Pakistan, that record would have been different. Because in the last 8-10 years, where we've only played them infrequently in ICC tournaments, we've been head and shoulders above them.
Yeah.
We've been head and shoulders. So if we had played bilaterals, if we had played more matches against them, that record where a lot of people say, oh, look at the record, we're still Pakistan still head to head, or it would have been different. So look, if Pakistan want to play bilateral in that sense, to just settle the record and all, yeah. But look, none of us thought that this game wouldn't take place. All of us, when we had that little chat, we were all saying, yeah, this game would go on, and interesting to see what will happen on the 15th. A belated Valentine's Day present to to the fans of both teams.
Well, as we speak, there has been love between ICC and the Bangladesh Cricket Board, because they have struck a deal and they said that they will not have any kind of repercussions, and that was the deal. And India-Pakistan play is what the reports coming in are. So we hope that everyone has a great Valentine's Day on the 14th, and then we all celebrate it on the 15th as well, because as fans, I feel everyone really loves watching India-Pakistan play. Then, of course, the discussions shift to whether it's still a rivalry or not, like you're speaking about, Rohan, because head-to-head, the count is very, very different.
Well, it is a rivalry. It is still, as Ajinkya will tell you, a big game that gets the juices flowing for the players, for the fans, for everyone that's involved with the game. Now, when it gets the juices flowing, when everyone is excited to see that game, to see that match being played, you set an alarm on your phone, you're talking about it leading up into the week, that tells you that it's a rivalry. In terms of performances over the last, like I said, in the last 5-6 times, 7-8 times that we've played them, we've had the upper hand.
Yes.
And look, this is not to say that Pakistan can't beat us. But if we play to our potential, if we bring our A game to the table on that day, we are a far superior side at the moment. That's not to say, like, look, Abhishek Sharma, he can get out on the first ball, or he can score 170, 180. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
Right. We scored 270 against New Zealand. Against USA, we were nowhere close. We were wondering what's happening. So on a bad day, anything can happen. But as a rivalry, in terms of just ability at the moment, we are ahead of them.
Well, you all have heard it. The news coming in is that India and Pakistan will be playing on the 15th as scheduled. So I think all the fans now can start gearing up towards that big game, because everyone's excited to watch that game. But before that big game, Pakistan has a high-pressure game happening tomorrow as well, because they will be taking on the USA, and this is happening in Colombo. Why I say a high-pressure game for them here is because of what happened in the 2024 World Cup, because it was a big upset. There was lots discussed because it was that super over game. Saurabh Netravalkar was the talk of the town. Everyone was discussing how he's just the perfect guy with his guitar and singing and bowling the super over and doing everything, because Pakistan lost that game. So it's a big game for Pakistan.
Very big game for Pakistan. I feel they'll be thinking about this game. What happened in 2024 was a big upset, I feel, in the ICC event. No one expected Pakistan to lose that match. USA, probably they'll be confident, because what they did against India in the first game, how they bowled, how well they bowled, was really good. Yes, the conditions are different. They're playing in Sri Lanka. The conditions will be different, but I think USA will go there, as a confident team. Pakistan team, what happened in the first game as well? 98 for 2 against Netherlands, chasing 148 and then losing those 4 or 5 wickets in between. Luckily, they chased down the total. 29 of 11.
Fahim
Ashraf got 11,
yes.
11 balls, 29. Thanks to him, they won the game, but I think Pakistan will be under pressure.
Well, we just have a look at USA squad first because they had those few injury concerns, and for USA, they will want those bowlers back in. I am not too sure if there's any update on Ali Khan's injury yet, but they will want him to really jump back into that squad, and even Shubham because he comes handy with the bat as well. But Ajinkya, Rohan, do you all see any changes for tomorrow, or do you think they'll play the same side?
Well, I think again, it's tough to say changes in terms of we don't know what the pitch is like.
Yes.
But if you take all things into account being neutral, then I think they'd want to stick with the same side because I thought they did pretty well in that first game. And you wouldn't want to make any changes because the team's done well in a sense in that first game.
And also Saurabh Netrawalkar was the only one who had an off day the other day because we know that he is essential to that side of America. So he will want to come back and come back stronger. Remember what he did in 2024.
See, in this format, anyone can actually have an off day.
Yes.
So this format is like that. Saurabh, I feel, is a very confident guy after 2024. He has done really well in the other leagues, did well for USA in the World Cup as well. So just an off day, it can happen to anyone. I'm sure, he's looking forward to do well because they got that confident that they've beaten Pakistan in the last World Cup. So I'm sure he's looking forward to the game and I'm confident he'll do well.
You know, Ajinkya, you mentioned how Pakistan against Netherlands, they had that hiccup because they were 98 for 2 and then they have a tendency, you've spoken about it, how they suddenly panic when they lose a few wickets and they had that 4-5 wickets falling.
Yeah.
And this has kind of been a tendency with them. So going into tomorrow's match, do you think that's something they'll be focusing on?
They'll address it for sure. Because, I mean, the good thing is this data now is available for everyone.
Yes.
You've got people, those who aren't even associated with cricket teams, sitting at home, having all this data, analyzing, talking about it. So this data will be with the Pakistan team. They'll have a look at it. They'll try to address it. They'll try to better themselves. I think, when you're a team like Pakistan, a very sort of proud cricketing nation, World Cup winners in 1992, as in that last World Cup, when you lose to an associate member country like the United States of America, when you come up against them, you want to prove a point. You want to say that the last game that we played
was a one-off.
Was the one-off. It was a bad day in the office. This is what we're all about. And you want to make a statement.
Yes.
You don't even just want to win. You would want to win by a big margin to make a statement. Say, look, this is where we are. This is where you are.
Yes.
And this is the natural order of things. So I expect Pakistan to, to be fully keyed, fully charged for tomorrow's game and put in a massive performance because they would have been hurt in that last World Cup. Look, when you lose to a team which you're supposed to beat, whether it's in the Super Over or not, you will be hurt. Now you want to set things right, and I expect Pakistan to put in a really big performance in tomorrow's game.
Ajinkya, we'll have a look at that squad and see if we can have any changes in that squad at all because there was no Fakhar Zaman in that last match. So do you think he can get a game in maybe for Usman Khan and ask Saib Zata Farhan to keep?
I was actually surprised to see Fakhar Zaman not getting a game, in the first. So I expect him getting into playing 11 and very destructive batter.
Yes.
Very explosive batter and plays fast bowlers and spins really well. So I expect him to get a game against USA.
But you think he comes in, like who do you think the change will be for? Do you think that Usman Khan?
Yeah, top of the order, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And Rohan, for you, any changes there? Or is that one obvious one?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's an obvious one, but I think if at all there is going to be a change, that would be the change. If not, probably the same 11.
And of course, they will want Babar Azam to get runs because he's had a dry spell for very long. So they will want him to get runs very quickly.
Yeah, and again, runs at a fair clip.
Yes.
There's a lot of talk about his strike rate, a lot of talk, not just in international cricket, a lot of talk about him in the BBL and his strike rate. So as a player, again, Ajinkya is probably best equipped to tell you this. You hear things.
Yes.
I mean, you may want to shut the outside noise off,
Yeah.
but you still hear what people are saying, what someone said about you, or what the public is saying, and you want to set that right. There's a lot of pride in your performance, and Babar, he's a world class player. His numbers in ODI cricket and Test cricket are exceptional. Now in T20 cricket, when you're a player of that ability, you want to set things right. If someone's talking about a strike rate, you will want to improve that strike rate. You will want to, show the world that, listen, this is what I'm all about.
Yes.
I've got so much ability and I'm going to show my ability. So I think, again, a big innings from Babar is what Pakistan would want. And at a pretty fair clip.
Yeah.
At a very decent strike rate.
See, to add to what Rohan said, people will talk about if you're doing well or not. But not all the time they are wrong. I feel you have to keep your ears open. Have to listen to, even if you're not on social media, if you're not listening to anyone,
That's exactly what I
but
was trying to
still
say.
you will hear things.
Yeah.
You have to see which things are really important for me. Others, you just filter it out and focus what is required. This format demands impact, strike rate. Especially if you're batting in first 6 overs, your strike rate is really important. Doesn't matter if you get, even if you get 20, 30 runs, but if you get that in 10 balls, 12 balls, 15 balls, that is really important. It's not only about getting 50s or 60s. If you take 30, 40 balls to get those 50, 60 runs, it's not important. It's this game, this format is always about the impact.
I honestly think Ajinkya is a great person to talk about it because we've seen his game change.
He's transformed, yes.
Is T20 cricket over the last few years when he goes out to bat, you're expecting him to be aggressive. You're expecting him to get his team off to a really good start. Have a strike rate of 150, 160, which he has been doing. And again, it can be a 20-run cameo, it can be 60, 70, but the strike rate has to be... And he's someone who, again, when you think about Ajinkya Rahane, you're thinking about that magnificent test player. Melbourne hundreds, all of that. You're thinking about overseas hundreds, you're thinking about a fabulous technique. That's the thought that comes into your mind. But to have that transformation that he's done over the last 2-3 years where his strike rate in T20 cricket has been amazing. The stars that he's given his team have been amazing. Babar Azam will be looking to do a bit more of that.
Absolutely. So you were talking about the impact that needs to be felt in T20 cricket. Who's going to have an impact tomorrow? Your players to watch out for?
If Fakhar Zaman plays, I think him. If not, then Babar.
Can I go with similar players or?
Of course you can.
I'm going to go with Babar and Saurabh Netravalkar. Only because Saurabh had a bad game, we're going to see how he bounces back.
And for me, from the USA team, if Shubham Ranjan is fit, I think I'll go with him. If not, then Harmeet Singh, left-arm spinner.
Lots of options given to you all for your player to watch out for. But now, Rohan, we have to do what you like doing the most on Cricbuzz Live, is seeing the joy factor question, because you seem to always have the answers for it.
This was a little tough. Ajinkya, you want to take a crack?
No. I have no idea.
We'll have a look at the question first. There you have it. Only 3 South African batters have achieved this ODI record. 2 of them are Herschel Gibbs in 2002, ABD in 2010. Who's the third and what exactly did he accomplish?
Okay, so my reasoning with the joy factor question always is, joy gives very topical questions. It's something that's happened recently, in the recent past, and that you try to think what's happened in the recent past. Now, there was a little bit of guesswork involved, a little educated guesswork. And I think I'm correct, I'm not sure. But the answer is that these 3 batters have scored 3 consecutive ODI hundreds.
Is that Quinton de Kock?
Yeah.
Oh, that could have been so easily cracked. And we need to put in more effort, I think.
I think Quinton recently got 3 consecutive ODI hundreds.
There you have it. Well done, Rohan.
Well because like I said, his thing is always very topical.
Yes.
So it's what's the one thing that's really happened in the recent past?
Did you know that ABD and Gibbs have had...
I knew Gibbs had, I didn't know ABD had. So I just sort of, like I said, a little bit of educated guesswork. So it was basically that. And then I asked the producer, I didn't ask him the answer, but I asked him, does the number 3 have anything to do with the answer? And he said yes. So...
well done, Rohan. Rohan seems to always crack it, along with, of course, a long list of people who get it. Let's have a look at who's gotten it today. Oh, Rishik Reddy. Is this a new name?
I think it's a new name.
New name. Yeah.
It's a new name. Well done, Rishik. But you and Rohan share it because Rohan also cracked it. Well done. We hope to see your name coming in more often as well. Ajinkya Sahib, because you are off the mark.
आज तुम्ही मला लाजवलंय साहेब बोलून.
आता तो साहेब ते सेट झालंय आता फॉर द रिमाइंडर ऑफ द
Number on my phone is changed from Ajinkya to Sahib.
आता आपण
If I'm ever caught by a policeman now somewhere, एक मिनिट साहेबांना फोन करतो.
आता साहेबांचं आपण हे स्कोर कार्ड बघूया. दॅट प्रिडिक्शन गेम यू हॅव गॉन अप. So we should have a look at that because it's always nice to see you climb up those charts. Rohan, both of us are not
Yeah. It's
Let's quickly have a look at that prediction leaderboard where there's Mr. Bhattacharya up there with 75.
wowza.
Ooh, 3 wins. Why is Murli Karthik? Oh, he's also at 1 win.
And a bullseye also for Joy.
Wow.
Oh.
And a bullseye for Tanya also. Well done, Tanya.
We are on that side of that page. All we can think of is hope and come to the left.
Start slow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Start slow.
But today was our first day.
Warming up.
We're warming up.
Warming up.
Yeah. Because now he's a pro.
He's a veteran. No, pro. Sorry.
Like the
He doesn't like veteran. He's a pro.
He's a pro. So well done, Ajinkya.
Thank you.
It's always so much fun to chat on Cricbuzz Live in our red chairs and red table. But Rohan has to go and paint the town red now, so we will not hold him back. He has to go and party.
I love how I am the butt of all jokes when it comes to all of this. When the actual painter Leonardo da Vinci is over here.
No.
He's turning red in the face right now.
Ajinkya is a good boy who will go to bed and wake up for practice.
1 minute. What are you trying to say that I'm not a good boy?
I'm just saying you're the party animal in the studio here.
No. It's completely
You
untrue.
can't take that reputation away from you. Own it now. You can own it.
With GK. It's a partnership. It's a batting partnership.
Yeah, with GK. GK, but we will not hold Rohan from his party, and Ajinkya has to wake up early for practice. So for all KKR fans, I will not hold Ajinkya back as well. Thank you, Ajinkya. Thank you, Rohan.
Thank
you
you.
everyone for watching. We will be back tomorrow. So we'll see you all tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Good night and goodbye.